Now, before we get into the actual drink, let's talk about cider in general and how it got started in America. Hi, Luna. Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted by this little cat, cider in America is not as simple as just taking an apple off the tree and making cider. You want to stop?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back. I'm Max Pierman, and on today's Just a Sip, we're going to dive into something special, something that we haven't done yet. We're going to talk about some cider. Not just any cider, we're going to talk about America's #1 selling cider, #1 in the category, and one of the most awarded ciders in the entire world, Angry Orchard Crisp Apple. So to better understand this cider, we need to understand cider in general, how it started in America, and why. So to understand this, we got to go back a few hundred years to back when, the United States wasn't the United States, back when, Britain was still in charge for the most part. It was hard to get hard to get grapes in America, and that's how you made wine. You wanted grapes to make wine, and you couldn't grow grapes because of the climate. So what had to happen is we had to find something that was similar to a grape, that had sugars, that had tannins, that had different acidity levels, and that was an apple. So Johnny Appleseed, I know you heard of that guy, real dude, he went across America and planted apples, apple orchards all over the country. Now, they weren't just any apples. They weren't culinary apples like you'd get at the store. They were cider apples. Now, there's a difference. There's culinary apples, which are sweet and sharp apples. So a sweet apple would be a Golden Delicious, or just a red apple. A sharp apple would be like a Granny Smith, something that's a little bit more acidic and sour. Now, cider apples are bittersweet or bitter sharp. The bitter aspect of that is just the tannin. Now, when you drink a really dry wine, your mouth gets dry after one sip. That's because it has more tannins. And that's because those apples or those grapes were produced just for wine. Now, when Prohibition hit, well, these farmers couldn't, keep their farms alive because they couldn't sell these apples that couldn't be eaten. These apples that were made just for making cider no longer existed in America after Prohibition. So what makes this product so unique compared to so many others in the category is that we not only use bittersweet and bitter sharp apples, we import them from places that they've been growing for hundreds of years to make sure that we have the finest product, the finest ingredients that we possibly can. So Angry Orchard Crisp Apple. It is a 5% alcohol cider. It uses bitter sweet apples, so it has that high tannin, it has the low acidity, the sweetness. We use some culinary apples that we actually grow on our orchard in New York, and blended together you get this beautiful mix of tartness, of sweetness, and then it's that dry finish that everybody loves. So if we take a look at this, it's just a simple cider. Looks just like a beautiful cider. You can see right through it. On the nose, it smells like apple. Hi, Remy. It smells like apple. And then, of course, the sip. You see me like puckering my lips, like smacking my lips. That's because of the tannins. It's dry. It makes me want another glass, another sip, and I might just after this video. And what's great about this is you can pair it with so many things. Very strong flavors like blue cheese and steak. And honestly, it's just one of my favorite products we sell. So next time you're around at a family gathering when you're allowed to go out, or at your local bar and you just want a nice cider, think about Angry Orchard. See you guys.